everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I can't wait to talk to you guys about the 10 things that I wish I knew before starting college. If you didn't know, I graduated back in December of 2019, so it's been a few months, and when looking back at my college experience, I definitely wish I had known things beforehand. This video goes out to anyone who is in high school thinking about going to college, if you're going to start college very soon, or if you're already in college, maybe you can go ahead and do some of these things that I never really got the chance to do. So I wrote down 10 things that I think can really help you guys out, and just the things that I experienced that I wish I knew before starting. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I have on here, and this goes out to anyone who's in high school, your GPA and your SAT scores really do matter. That's what's going to determine which college you get into. So get the highest grades you can, get as involved as you can, because you can get a full ride scholarship, you can get other types of academic scholarships, you can be accepted into the college that you want that maybe is more competitive than others. I definitely wasn't like a perfect student when I was in high school, but luckily my grades weren't that bad either, so I got into the college that I wanted. But I really wish I would have done more in high school, because I saw so many people get full rides because of the work they put in high school. College can be very expensive, and for me it did come out mostly out of pocket. If you're in high school, take it seriously, do the best that you can, and apply for scholarships. You might get a full ride. Sometimes just by being at the top of your class or having a certain score in your SAT, you automatically get those scholarships. The next thing that I wish I would have done better in college is doing internships. So if you guys don't know, I've talked about it on my channel, but basically my first 2 years of college were done in this high school program. I will link it down below, but basically my first 2 years of college were done while I was in high school. And that program kept us so busy. We had so much work. We had to do a bunch of volunteering hours, and it never even crossed my mind to do an internship. It wasn't pushed on us either. And so those first 2 years of college never crossed my mind until I transferred over to my 4-year university, where I only had to do 2 more years of college before I graduated. And again, it was just a whole new environment, a whole new school, and just getting used to a different sort of workload. So again, it never crossed my mind to do an additional internship and work somewhere. I was able to do one this summer before I graduated. I just wish I would have done more internships while I was in college, because it is so valuable once you graduate and you are looking for a job. That's how you're going to distinguish yourself from other applicants. I definitely now know the struggle of not having a lot of experience before you graduate, and the best way to do that is by doing internships. So whether it's paid or unpaid, that experience is so valuable, and companies will really like that, and they will favor you over other applicants if you have an internship experience. I wish I would have done internships throughout my whole 4 years of college and not the summer right before I graduated, because not only will it give you the experience, but sometimes you can even land a full-time job right after graduating. They will offer it to you. That's awesome, because you don't even have to do the whole job hunting, job searching. It can get really stressful. So if you already have an internship and it's looking good for you, they might go ahead and give you a full-time offer once you graduate. So really recommend do internships and realize how important and valuable it really is, and how it's going to help you finding a job. Number 3, I didn't realize that if I was a commuter to college, it was going to be a very lonely journey for me. My school was known to be a commuter college, so it was mostly people who would drive to school and then go back home. It wasn't necessarily that typical college experience where everyone lives on campus, and no, it was mostly people who drove and left once you were done, and that was my situation as well. You don't really get that sense of community. You have to find it, and so I didn't do that. I would just go to school and I would go back home, and that was it. That was my college experience. I remember walking everywhere by myself and doing everything by myself. But luckily there are organizations and events available that you can go to. It wasn't until maybe my last year of college where I realized, let me do more things on this campus. So I started attending some of those welcome events and little seminars that they had, and going out to eat with friends and things like that. So it doesn't have to be lonely, but just a heads up, most likely it will be lonely only, but there's ways to, you know, fix that. You may experience people who come off very creepy and weird. And I don't mean weird as in like, oh, they're quirky. No, as in like they might give you some really weird vibes and you don't feel comfortable. Honestly, it's bound to happen. Colleges are huge. There's thousands and thousands of people. And you're going to run into some amazing people, but then you're also going to run into some not so great people. I know for me, I had a few really uncomfortable situations while I was in college, and I just remember one specifically. It was this one guy that I would always run into. When I say everywhere, you guys, I would see him everywhere. It got to the point where I felt like he was following me. I had talked to him a few times at first, and I thought it was just all coincidental, and we just kept running into each other. So I learned a little bit about him. I know what major he was in and what building he was normally in. It wasn't until I started noticing that I was seeing him way too frequently. We don't have the same major, we don't have the same classes, and I keep bumping into you. I started feeling really scared. I would run to my car whenever I would walk anywhere. I was so paranoid and I would look everywhere, and I just remember feeling unsafe, and I didn't want to do anything about it because I felt like, no, like I don't want to misjudge him, you know, it could all just be coincidental, but it started happening so much. I talked to my friends and I told them like, what should I do? Because it got really bad to the point where I literally felt like I was being followed, and this guy knew exactly where I was going and I didn't know why. Everyone kept telling me, Giselle, do it, you know, it's better to be safe than sorry. So I finally did. I sent an email and I sent all the details and all the times that I've seen him, because I started writing everything down, like all the times that I would see him. I was super disappointed because I did not get a response until maybe like a month or two later, and at that point I was super close to graduation and I graduated, and I mean that was about it. I didn't have to see him anymore. It was my whole 2 years being at the university that I kept running into this guy everywhere that I went. If you ever feel unsafe or if you ever feel uncomfortable because of someone, make sure to report it. Talk to someone and be with someone. Don't ever be alone if you feel that way. I had friends who would sometimes walk me or talk with me. It was not a pleasant experience. Literally coming out of class, like just being scared, like where am I gonna see him next? Like, is he waiting for me like down the corner? Because I felt like that happened so many times. It didn't feel coincidental anymore. So I would say really go with your gut and do something. I don't want to scare anyone, but I just think it's very important to be alert at all times. And if you feel something in your gut, like something is wrong, definitely talk to someone that can help you. Networking. I know you probably have heard it all your life, but networking is very important, and I did not do any networking whatsoever while I was in college. That is something that was always pushed onto us, and now I see why. Because networking is important for job hunting. If you know somebody who knows somebody who can give you a job somewhere, that reference is sometimes all you need to get into the doorstep of a job. Also, if you are trying to do any sort of program, if you're trying to study abroad, if you're trying to apply for a scholarship and you need some sort of teacher recommendation, you can ask your professor because you'll already have that relationship with them. I think it's really weird to ask a teacher that you barely talk to give you a letter, and so that's why it's really important to make those connections and relationships. I really didn't realize how expensive college was. Every semester for me was probably like $6,500. So you pay $6,500 for the spring, $6,500 for the fall, and time really flies and those bills are gonna hit you. So I wish I would have saved more before I went into college, or just saved while I was in high school. It's definitely a stress off your mind, just not worrying about having to pay for college, because that was something that was always in the back of my head. I was super determined to graduate without any debt, but that did come with some consequences because it took away some time from just focusing on my school and trying to do as best as possible. Know that it can be very expensive, but there's also many ways to get help, and that is the next point that I was going to talk about. Scholarships. And you'll be surprised, there are so many programs, so many different companies, your school, that offer scholarships and they're ready to throw their money at you. For example, my sister, she did one scholarship from her school and it was super simple. She just had to write an essay, she submitted, and I think she got $1,500 just like that. There's scholarships for literally anything you can think of. There's transfer scholarships. I got like a little mini transfer scholarship when I went from community college to my four-year university, and just by being a transfer student, I got like $500. It's literally insane the type of scholarships that are out there. I had one friend who applied to, I forgot what it was called, but she got a full ride to her college and like a stipend, so she was getting paid on top of that, and it's just crazy. And I wish I would have really done more scholarships and tried applying to them, because I don't think I did much of that. Don't be lazy like me and get that money. Bring your own lunch. I started doing this more towards the end of my college career. My school had Chick-fil-A, so just imagine getting Chick-fil-A 3-4 times a week. You spend $10 on every meal and $160 a month on Chick-fil-A, when you could have just eaten from home, you know, made a little sandwich, a few chips, and you're good to go. So many people would just spend their money at the school cafeteria, and all their money would just go to lunch. I feel like a lot of people's money would just go like this because they would be eating out for lunch every single day. Number 9, this goes to all of my commuters out there. It didn't really cross my mind when I started college, but if you live far away from your college and you're commuting every single day, you can put all of your classes in a schedule where you only have to go maybe twice a week instead of going all days of the week. And that's gonna save you so much gas, so much money, so much time. Take advantage of the fact that you're in college, and that means you can make your own schedule that works the best for you. I got really sick of going to school 4 to 5 times a week, so I said, you know what, next semester I'm only gonna go twice a week, Tuesday, Thursday, and it was the best thing ever. I would go to school twice a week, and then on the rest of those days I would work part-time. I would work on my YouTube, I would do my homework. It was just the best life ever. But the option is there if you really want it. You are in charge of your own schedule, and so make it work the best you can for yourself. Number 10, I wrote down here, you'll meet some of the best people ever, and that goes towards students and professors. I know I did mention that you might meet some unpleasant people, but I think college is also one of those times where you meet the most amazing people. I've made so many really good friends and so many cool professors that genuinely care about what they're doing and their students and trying to teach others, and just people that are so helpful and are there for you. You get to meet people who are from all over the world, who have different cultures and speak different languages. It just makes you look forward to going to class. If you're in college, if you're thinking about going to college, don't take that for granted. It's one of the best things that you'll experience. Well, those are some of the things that I wish I knew before starting college. I definitely did a lot of things wrong, but that's why I hope I can help, and maybe you can learn from some of my mistakes. If you have any questions about college and you want to ask me, comment it down below and I will get back to you. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at TakingOnGiselle, and subscribe to my channel if you're new here. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you very soon.